Welcome to Coach's Corner, everybody. Thanks for watching the show. I'm your host, Coach Paul Tripoli. My friend Tommy Hopper to my left, as we're here for Goode and Faithful Servant every Monday night with Kerry Goode. Right, Kerry Goode, you lived with the Goode family for a year, Tommy?
Yeah, great people.
Amazing people, right? All four brothers played at Alabama. Kerry was a star running back, and he has ALS now, Lou Gehrig's disease. So can't move a muscle in his body, can't even talk. But with AI technology, the computer spits out his answers in his own voice. But it's kind of hard, so listen close. But we're thankful. We've been waiting over a year now for AI technology to come up with something like this so we could do it. Heard my old teammate Timmy Green has a good podcast as well, ALS patient, Nothing Left Unsaid. So watch that show with Timmy Green. But we take a deep dive into Kerry's book, Goode and Faithful Servant, that he wrote a few years ago, and we take a couple chapters every week and we dissect it. This week's episode, day 39, he breaks up his chapters in 195 days or 195 short chapters. This one's titled Here and Now is All We Have. This is brought to you by Hill Kelly Dodge and the Seiler Agency. This is all in Kerry's words. I'm just asking the questions, right, Tommy? We're just commenting and asking the questions, but these come from Kerry's book verbatim. Right. Kerry, this is one of my favorite chapters in your book, Goode and Faithful Servant. It teaches us how to be present. At the end of the page, page 47, you start the chapter by saying, playing sports, I've heard every cliche there is about not looking forward, but rather focus on what's happening now. I'm sure you've heard these phrases. There's no tomorrow, play one game at a time, be where your feet are. As I lay in this hospital bed, it becomes more evident that the lessons learned in sports have become a vital part of my fight against ALS. This constant focus on getting better today and not looking forward is all that I can rely on. For tomorrow is definitely not promised to me or to you. We spend so much time looking and planning for the future that most of us miss what's happening right here and now. Some people choose to live in the past and relive those past hurts so much that they refuse to move on. The best present is being present, because there ain't no better gift than the here and now. From Kerry Goode. Yes. When you start to think of today as the only day you may have, you live differently, Kerry says. You realize the past is no more. The future is not yet, and it may never come. Nothing exists except the here and now. And if you are not happy living in the here and now, you never will be. Wow.
Got to be present.
Got to be present. Holy mackerel. All right, Kerry, I guess our first question for Tommy and I have for you is, can you give us examples of not living in the now?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I hope your team came out on top. I did not have a team, but I cheered for my Alabama guys. So let's get into living in the now. I think one team was definitely not living in the now the first half. Too busy thinking about what could be achieved instead of how and what it takes to achieve it. Balancing planning for the future with living in the present is like walking a tightrope. Sure, it's important to set goals and look ahead, but there are some downsides to being overly focused on the future. Constantly thinking about the future can lead to worrying about things that might never happen, causing unnecessary stress and anxiety. Obsessively scheduling every moment of your day without leaving room for spontaneity or downtime. Being so focused on career goals and future promotions that you neglect your health and relationships are examples of now living in the now. Living in the now means being fully present and engaged in whatever you are doing, without being overly focused on the past or future. If you learn anything from the Super Bowl game, it should be take care of what you can control.
Wow,
that's pretty strong.
Isn't that unbelievable? Yeah. Worrying about the future causes you anxiety, because even if the future does come, they may not turn out the way you had planned, right, or the way you imagined it. Leave room in your day for spontaneity and downtime, he says. For spontaneity and downtime, don't have every minute scheduled.
Yeah, everything doesn't have to be so compressed. That creates a ton of anxiety.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Wow. All right, let's go on. Question number 2. This question comes from Tommy Hopper, is gracious to join us. Tommy,
Yeah,
what,
Kerry.
what question you got for him?
Kerry, I wanted to ask you, have you ever had a conversation with Coach Saban about his philosophy of kind of like every play has a history and life of its own? I mean, have you ever sat down and had that conversation with him, and how does that kind of relate to your life as you know it, and as you kind of share with your experiences with other people and everything about like don't watch the scoreboard, just go through the process, so to speak, because he's
Coach
focused.
Saban and I never talked about football. I always wanted our conversations to be about anything but football, but I studied his
Hmm.
philosophy and taken this approach myself. Coach Saban emphasizes the importance of playing each down with maximum effort and focus. His philosophy is about treating every play as if it's the most critical moment of the game. This mindset ensures that players are always giving their best, regardless of the score or situation. Saban's approach is rooted in the idea of living in the moment and maintaining a high level of intensity and concentration throughout the entire game. By doing so, his teams were better prepared, more resilient, and able to capitalize on every opportunity that arises. It's a powerful lesson that can be applied beyond football, encouraging us to approach every task with dedication and a focus on the present.
Yeah.
Saban has the same mindset as Kerry, it sounds like,
Yeah.
right? Treat every play like it's your last play.
Yeah.
It's a mindset. You have to do that. You have consciously do. You have to consciously do that.
Yeah,
you
mental discipline.
Mental discipline. You do it over and over and over,
So
and then
it's
it
become
becomes
habit
a
and
habit.
routine.
Yeah, becomes a habit. High level intensity and concentration, for example. Yeah, I the only thing I can think of is when I played, is I never heard the crowd. Never.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
at the end of the play or game or something, but right before the play, or it's almost like background noise, and I tuned it out.
Yeah.
And, that's that because that's maybe that's
Laser
a way to
focus.
focus and intense.
Yep.
Maybe that's what I could think of. All right, let's go on to day 40. The next subject on today's show. This is titled "Got Patience? Probably not." All right, here we go. Kerry, we go from one of my favorite chapters in the book to one of my weaknesses, patience. Ironically, you start this next chapter off with a cliche saying, they say kill him with kindness, but does everyone really deserve your kindness? Instead, kill him with your silence, as not everyone deserves your attention. Patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate trouble or suffering without getting angry or upset. Patience is when you're supposed to get mad, but choose to understand. Take Jesus, for example. When Jesus interacted, he was respectful, patient, and kind, even when others mistreated him. We'd rather react in anger, though. All of us would. We even try to convince ourselves and others that we feel good about it, right? We say things like, oh, I gave them a piece of my mind. But if you keep giving a piece of your mind, you'll have nothing left, Kerry says. He says, I get it. You're hurt. Why can't I hurt them back? They deserve it, don't they? But the truth is, God shows grace. Okay? They deserve it. They don't, do they? But the truth is, God shows them grace. How many times has he forgiven you for all the things that you've done? How many times, did you deserve it? So the next time you're tempted to react instead of responding with grace, God didn't give you what you truly deserve, right? He didn't give you a piece of his mind.
Right.
He empowered you to show grace by being patient with you. Okay. Therefore, next time you're about to blow a gasket, Kerry says, smile. It will warm their hearts or piss them off. Either way, you win. The more you choose to be gracious, the easier it is to become. Oh my gosh, almost like a sport, almost like a practice, right?
Yeah, which is
Practice
counterintuitive to we human beings, how we're wired.
Right.
It's not
We
natural.
want to snap back and be right all the time. All right, Kerry, here's our questions. And the last sentence really struck me. The more you choose to be gracious, the easier it will become. Just like sports training, right? Around that theme, can you expound on that, Kerry?
Call it like this. It's a bit like training a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Practicing graciousness and gratitude can have a similar effect. When you repeatedly engage in gracious behavior, you reinforce neural pathways in your brain that support those actions, making them more automatic over time. Also, acts of graciousness often lead to positive reactions from others, creating a rewarding feedback loop that encourages you to continue. The more you choose to be gracious, the more it becomes ingrained in your daily life, making it easier and more natural.
Wow. Acts of graciousness leads to kindness for others. Practice graciousness makes it more and more natural. He
Yeah, it
says.
becomes part of your psyche and your being and second
Every
nature
day.
to you.
Every day.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, Kerry, one last question for today's episode. Talk about redemption instead of revenge. Okay. When I was a coach, I never talked about revenge. It had a negative connotation, but I knew it was negative. But Kerry explains here why redemption is so over maybe how you played the last time, right? There's no revenge on the other person, the other team, even if they wronged you, even if you got a bad call. Okay, Kerry. So our question is, what's the talk about this redemption instead of revenge? And it's not our job to injure someone who injured us. Do we ask God to take care of their karma?
In our daily lives, we often hear the term karma used to describe the idea that our actions have consequences. While the Bible does not use the word karma, it does teach a similar principle. Galatians 6 verse 7 reminds us, "Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." Choosing redemption over revenge is a powerful mindset that promotes healing and growth rather than perpetuating cycles of harm and negativity. Revenge often leads to a never-ending cycle of retaliation, while redemption seeks to break that cycle and foster peace. In my closing words, let us live in the moment because tomorrow could change your whole life. And while you are out in this world, take your patience and ability to offer grace to others with you. And last, God can exact revenge a heck of a lot better than you. Have a blessed week, and I will talk to you next.
Talk to you soon, Kerry. Wow.
Wow.
Isn't that strong?
That's something we need to incorporate in our own daily life, for sure outside of sports. But that's a great way to look at stuff because we live in such
we get wronged.
cruel,
we get wronged every day.
A cruel society right now. It's just hard. So this is a big challenge that we need to undertake, each and every one of us. And I know I do big time.
Wow. While the Bible does not use the word karma, he says, it teaches a similar principle in Ephesians 6, verse 7. Redemption seeks to foster peace, healing, and growth. Redemption, peace, healing, and growth. Revenge often leads to a never-ending cycle of retaliations.
Yeah, I mean,
what a way with words he's got, but that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and that, as the Bible says, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord.
Yes. Vengeance is not ours. It's not ours to be angry and mad and take revenge on somebody.
I'm one of the worst to
God
struggle with that.
God can exact revenge a lot better than you. Wow. Hope you learned something today from the two subjects. I want to thank Kerry Goode.
Yep.
Love you, buddy. Love you, Kerry.
Love you, Kerry.
Love you, buddy, and your family. And hope Mama's doing better here soon. We will talk to you soon, folks. Thanks for watching Goode and Faithful Servant with Kerry Goode. My friend Tommy Hopper. I'm Coach Tripp. Have a great sports week, everybody. Stay tuned for these important messages. Without these great sponsors, this just wouldn't be possible. Have a great night, everybody. So long.
That's you trying to fix the plumbing yourself to save a few bucks. Doing things yourself doesn't always end well. The same goes for insurance. That's why Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and offer discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance. Because sometimes you need a professional to get the job done right. That's simple human sense.
Arbitrium Consulting for all your fencing, landscaping, pressure washing, tree trimming needs. Call 850-483-0350 for your free estimates. Serving Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, Destin, Perdido, Gulf Shores, Foley, and the entire Gulf Coast. Arbitrium Consulting is owner-operated, fully licensed and insured. Call today, 850-483-0350, the official landscaper of Coach's Corner. For 30 years, you have seen the orange Beck signs all over the Gulf Coast listing a property for sale or lease. Beck Partners is your trusted advisor in commercial real estate, property management, commercial and personal insurance. Senior Vice President David Valletto has been with Beck Partners since 1989. Take advantage of his wealth of knowledge by calling him today at 982-7352. 982-7352. Extensive experience in all aspects of leasing, sales, management, and site selection will make sure your expectations are exceeded.
My name is Steve Reynolds. I'm the manager and owner of Cordova Lanes, and we help keep your mind out of the gutter. Cordova Lanes is part of the community of Pensacola. Being here for 43 years, we've entertained more people than any other bowling center in the city. We sell fun for a living. Cordova Lanes is located at 2111 Airport Boulevard in Pensacola, behind Cordova Mall. Come on out and see us at Cordova Lanes Bowling Center. Thank you.